This awesome thumbnail was created in less than a day by Mr. Christian Cotter. If you want some 100% custom doodles done for you, I will leave a link to his Twitter down below. Hit him up. He is a great artist, and I hope you enjoy his work as much as I do. So about a year ago, as the Trunks arc was coming to an end, me and Real to Real did a video where we discussed 5 ideas for what the next arc would be. And I did the video, I edited it, it was all ready to go, and then they announced the next arc. So the video became useless. It literally wound up on my desktop for like 6 months until I deleted it. But this year, we're doing it ahead of time because I'm pretty sure that we're going to get the announcement of the next arc, or at least it's very possible we will, by the end of December is what I believe. So we're going to talk about what we think are going to be 5 ideas for the next arc in Dragon Ball Super. Okay, we're going to give you guys 5 ideas for what could be coming next after the Tournament of Power. And if you want to go ahead and give us your 5, well, leave them in the comments. Give us your 5 ideas, or of course you can give us your reply on the ideas that we have. But of course, remember to hear our ideas first. So let me welcome, I just said his name, so why not say it again? Real to Real.
What's up, man? Always a pleasure to be on your channel. Thanks for having me. And I think we have some really awesome ideas that people aren't really thinking about.
Yeah, well, I think a couple they are, and we're going to satisfy their fantasies for a little while here. But, yeah, so we do know, let's clarify this. We do know that based on some comments that were made, recently in an interview in Spain, that there's a high chance that this tournament arc's going to end in March. Now, the tournament itself may end before that, and we might get some post-tournament shenanigans. And I probably think we're going to get some in-between episode stuff, some in-between arc stuff, slice of life stuff probably. But it's for sure going to end by the end of the first quarter of 2018. I'm pretty sure of it. It's not going to go that much longer. So we're going to talk about what happens after. Dragon Ball Super is not coming to an end. It's too successful, and there's a lot of storylines they could do. So let's go ahead and dive in. This list of 5 ideas is not in any particular order. It's just 5 ideas that they could do for the next arc. And like I said, give us your thoughts. The first one I want to obviously throw out there is the most obvious one, and that is Planet Sadala. Did a whole video with Tragic about this a couple weeks ago. I'll link that at the end of this video. And so many hints here with the relationship between Caulifla, Kale, and Goku, as well as the relationship between Vegeta and Kaba, and they're really establishing and really hammering home that at some point in the future, they're going to go to Planet Sadala and have some kind of storyline there, whether it be Vegeta meeting and having a conflict with the king of Planet Sadala, or maybe they go over there and something bad happens, and maybe they're seen as outsiders or something. I mean, there could be a lot of different ideas, but I think that the most likely of these 5 is probably Planet Sadala. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right. The one thing I would say, though, is I'm not expecting an entire arc on this. Like you were saying, up until March, when this whole arc ends and we get the next big arc in Dragon Ball Super, like last time we got that hit mini arc, I think that's what we're going to get here. I think if anything, it's going to be regulated to a couple episodes where there's a very small, minute threat that they have to take care of in a very short amount of time. I don't know what that would be, just considering the fact that the Saiyans in Universe 6 aren't anywhere close to Goku and Vegeta. I don't know what threat that they can pose, but at the same time, you have other things that could attack, but we've seen almost every strong thing in Universe 6, so small arc, I believe, but like you're right, I think that they've been hinting at it so much with relationships with Goku, Kale, and Caulifla, Vegeta, and Kaba, potentially Gohan going as well. I mean, there's so many possibilities, and obviously it would give us a way to enjoy Universe 6.
Well, also, it could also be that they're just going to train them. Like, maybe Goku and Vegeta will sit out and not fight and just kind of train them to get stronger to face their threat. Like, kind of like, I'm not going to fight your battles for you, but I'll make you stronger. We could see that.
I think that would be great because I really like Kaba, Kale, and Caulifla. I know a lot of people have their opinions about them, but I actually like them. I'd like to give them more screen time and get to see them fight more.
Number 2 on the list is one that you threw at me, which kind of surprised me, but I kind of see why, considering that there's a lot of mysteries revolving around this, and that is the Universe 2 arc. Now, obviously, I'm not saying you have to do an entire arc about Rib Brienne and the Kamikaze Fireballs. That's not what I'm saying, because they might get their own little manga or something later on. But what exactly is the story you think would be the most interesting about Universe 2?
I think that, first of all, like you said, mysterious universe for the most part. There's other people that shouldn't be in this universe. You have the Suforian or the Tuffle. You also have the Yardradian. Those people should be regulated to Universe 7 or Universe 6. They shouldn't be in this universe. And I'm wondering, why they did that. It doesn't seem like something that was just thrown together. I know sometimes Dragon Ball Super can kind of feel like it's all hash brained together, but this arc, at least in my opinion, I feel like they did that for a reason, and they will bring these people back in some way, shape, or form in the future. Another thing about Universe 2 that strikes me as strange is they seem to be the most copacetic universe out of all the ones that we're seeing fighting.
That's a big word. Can you make that a simpler word, please?
They're in tune with each other. They all kind of fight and
Power
preach.
of love, baby.
Yeah, they all preach the same, vocabulary. They all preach the same morals and philosophy. And it's weird considering the divide that we've seen even in our own universe. Universe 7, people don't agree. They don't fight with each other. They don't support each other in the way that they do. So I'm wondering, is that intentional? Is that going to showcase their in later arcs? Is that going to be important? Imagine Goku and Vegeta versus an entire universe.
That would be pretty awesome, actually. Now that when you put it that way, that does sound pretty awesome. So I would like to see that. Number three, more time travel storylines, possibly with the return of Trunks. I've been making the joke for a while now, and it's not really a joke. I could totally see it happening. It's total X-Men stuff where Trunks and Mai have a baby like Cable, and that baby is like, he goes back in time, and he's a very troublemaker or whatever the case may be, and they have to get Goku and Vegeta to come back to the future timeline to stop the grown-up kid of Trunks and Mai. It's such a Marvel Comics thing to do, and I feel like it's a good way to bring Trunks back because, like I've said a million times, I'm just not satisfied with that ending in the Trunks arc. It's too open-ended. I feel like there's more to come with Trunks. I don't think we've seen the last of them.
I really like that too. And if the last couple episodes have proven anything, at least to me as a fan, seeing Saiyans fight other Saiyans, I think is probably the most exciting thing you can do in Dragon Ball. And just seeing like a Cable-esque type of character from Trunks and Mai coming back and for whatever reason trying to destroy the past instead of save it, a complete opposite 180 of what Trunks was trying to do when he came back both times. That would be great. I think, because we've seen, like you said, I've seen Trunks try to save the past, and we've seen him come back and get people to save the future. Let's have his son come back and try to destroy the past for one reason or another. I think that would be great.
Yeah, maybe he wants to destroy the past because he thinks that there's the two Trunks in the future and two Mai's is confusing. He doesn't know who to say mom and dad to. There's two of them. I don't know, man. But number four is one that we actually brought up in that video that never wound up getting uploaded, and that is the Angry Zalama Returns arc. We know that Zalama created the Super Dragon Balls, and no, for the last time, Zalama is not the Super Dragon. Zalama is the creator of the dragons, or Zalama, however you want to call it. We've only heard of this character. We have not seen this character, and we know this character created the Super Dragon Balls. We don't know if Zalama's dead. We don't know if Zalama's alive. We know nothing except that he created the original Dragon Balls, the Super Dragon Balls, that is. And having him come back and be upset at the fact that they're using the Super Dragon Balls for dumb tournaments and bringing Earths back for food and things like that. Him saying, stop playing with my balls, I think would be a good angle.
Yeah, I completely agree. One of the things that bringing him into the picture would do is allow us to explore the Namekians too. I think there's a lot of people who still really like Piccolo and the Namekians. They've mentioned the Namekian Book of Legends in Dragon Ball Super. I think bringing in Zalama would allow us to explore not only him, but how the Namekians got the power of the Super Dragon Balls and what it really means, and why also they're only in Universe 6 and 7. I think that could be a huge main story point going forward, because when you have all these other universes, like remember, Zalama is completely gone. We don't know where he is. But then Zamasu and Gowasu didn't even know they existed. Gowasu even says that he thought that they were a legend. Like they're just like they're not real. But until they saw Goku and Hit fighting in the tournament before this one, they're like, oh, they are real, and they do have this unlimited power now. All these other universes, the gods of destruction, the gods of creation, everyone knows about these things.
The Super Dragon Balls are only in those two universes, which again, that why? We never got an answer to that,
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that you could also jump on, and we don't know why, but it was shown, they can explain in Universe 9, before they got erased themselves when they were prepping for the entire tournament, we saw a city get completely erased because for whatever reason those people in that city realized that the tournament of power was taking place and that they were going to get erased if their universe lost. So they were freaking out. It's not unbelievable to imagine that other beings from other universes also knew about this and knew about the rules and the prize, who might want to go after the Super Dragon Balls at some point. And then for whatever reason, after all this, Zalama shows back up and gets mad, or Zalama himself in all the other universes shows up and gets mad.
He could be a very dangerous villain. I mean, he might be like a really powerful opponent. He might be as strong as Zeno for all we know. I mean, we don't know. Like, Toriyama can do whatever he wants, really. Or maybe he shows up and there's another villain that he needs their help for. I mean, who really knows? Definitely, it's something that I think should be explored and something that I think hopefully will be. I really hope so. Number 5, last but not least, this is a very DC Comics-esque storyline we're about to hit you with. If you like DC Comics, this is the storyline for you, and that is Goku and Vegeta become Pride Troopers. Now, let me clarify. I'm not saying they're going to be Pride Troopers forever. I don't think they're going to do it, for the rest of their lives, but if they go to Universe 11 with Jiren and Toppo, and maybe there's a truce made, and they go and they become Pride Troopers, not just to train and become stronger with Jiren, but to face off against some of the, what we believe to be very difficult opponents in Universe 11 that Jiren may have trouble with, or may have had trouble with at one point. I think that would be a fun storyline. That would be an arc that can go for 50 or so episodes. It could be Goku Vegeta or Goku Gohan. Take your pick. Goku Oob. We'll talk about him in a minute. I think people going to Universe 11 to become Pride Troopers would be a fun little arc. And just the idea of having Goku dressed up in the Pride Trooper uniform, that's an action figure that I want on my wall. Bam Presto, you've got my money.
No, I really like that idea. I actually floated this idea in a video I did at some point where saying one of the things I would really like to see and something they could pick up on, probably not the next arc, but something down the line, is after all the Tournament of Power is said and done, remember, one of the things that they've been playing off of this entire time is Toppo and Jiren. Almost all the Pride Troopers think that Goku is the bad guy here. Almost all the universes started out that way, but Toppo and Jiren especially. It would be really cool, and I think in a nice emotional moment to, at the very end of all this, after Goku wins or Jiren wins, whoever wins this tournament, they go shake hands and make them honorary members of the Pride Troopers. Kind of setting up the same way they've been setting up the idea that they're going to Planet Sadala at some point in the near future. That they're going to go to Universe 11 and see and explore like what made Jiren so strong, what's made Toppo so strong, because everything that we've seen from that universe, stylish as it is, hasn't been so much that Jiren has to step in, and it really makes you wonder how he steps in, why he steps in, and potentially who trained him or how he even got so strong is something I want to explore later in the future.
Yeah, I think it would fit. And like I said, having the toys of Goku and Vegeta or whoever in Pride Trooper uniforms is money. I mean, that's money right there printing itself. I don't see why they don't do it. Even if it's like not that long of an arc, maybe 20 episodes, 30 episodes, I think it's just a good idea. And it's more of that exploration, that we want to see from Super. Now, before we close out, I want to ask you about going past the end of Z. Right now in the 10-year time skip, we are close to the end of Z, which is when Goku meets Oob for the first time in the tournament, 28th tournament, and he's wearing the blue gi and whatnot. We're about 3 years or so away from that. Do you think it's time to skip to that part and kind of, I guess, retell it, or maybe go past it and go beyond the end of Z, or do you think that with the next arc they should stick within the 10-year time frame?
Oh, very interesting question. I'm going to go the skip past part because one of the things they made very clear in this arc is Goku and Oob going out of their way to fight someone like Jiren or Toppo, but also fighting with Kale and Caulifla and showcasing their abilities to train other people. We've also seen this with Vegeta with his interactions with Kaba. Maybe they do the Planet Zidal stuff very first, but maybe after all of this, Goku realizes that Dende was right. Maybe he should track down Oob and start to train him. And after all of it, considering all these universes are probably going to be brought back by Vegeta or whoever wins the tournament, they make a truce, and Zenos, if there's still two of them at some point, go, this was so much fun. We want to keep doing this. So when we see and catch up with Goku at the end of Dragon Ball Z, he's not just going to train Oob. He's also training Goten. He's also training Pan. If he's training
He's
people.
recruiting.
He's recruiting. He's training for the next generation to fight after him and all this. If they make the Tournament of Power like the next grand thing every 10 years or so, whatever it is, he's doing that. He's doing his best to continue the tradition. I think that would be great.
Yeah, I would love it if they had another Tournament of Power with the other four missing universes that didn't compete. But this time, like you said, it's Goku, it's Pan, it's Trunks, and Goten grown up, maybe. Oob, maybe a few other fighters that are coming in. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. That would be a more. They have these characters here, and they can still use them. Like I think there's still so much life left in these characters. I don't think that any of these characters have really been written to where they should be closing out. But also with this Tournament of Power, I like the idea that this tournament is going to be like the last stand for guys like Roshi and Tenshinhan and Krillin and them, like the Dragon Ball generation. I like that this tournament's going to be like their last hurrah before they go into retirement. I would love it if the next one is just focused on the young talent. I would totally love that.
And also, it would build up if this series goes even further. It would build up the idea that we're going to get another tournament and the next generation, the next batch. And they could also do what they've also done. They did with Dragon Ball Z 2. They can get up to that point and never show it. And I don't think maybe there'd be a lot of people who are mad at that, but that could be the ending of Dragon Ball Super is the next tournament 10 years after the time skip or 10 years after this point. So we have a lot of time left, and Goku and Vegeta are still in their prime, and we've been exploring Goku training and kind of adapting into a more mature person that we see at the end of Z and everything else like that. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, I would like it if they show the new tournament and then Goku ends up losing it, but then he finally concedes that it's time for him to retire, and that would be the true good ending to Dragon Ball is when he says, "I'm going to keep training, but this whole tournament stuff, I'm going to retire." Uncharacteristic of Goku as of right now, but something for later on when he's older, I think could work out. You know what I mean? He becomes Roshi, pretty much.
I completely agree. Actually, that's great.
That's it. There you go. Anyways, folks, check out Real to Real. I don't have to tell you twice. I'll leave a link in the comments. I should surely hope you would check him out. And thank you for being here.
Yeah, no worries, man. Thanks for having me.
And remember to give us your ideas too in the comments. Thank you. We'll talk to you down the road.